Hey, this is Mike. So last week, Ethan and I discussed Saturday's The Place, but we talked about it so much that we are splitting it into two episodes. So please join us now for the conclusion of Saturday's The Place. Or saving her kid from
Stupid
those
monkeys.
monkeys, stupid monkeys. Anyway, Frogger, they decided because we had there was this interesting thing where in adapting the video game to a cartoon, they weren't quite clear on what aspects of the video game they needed to bring over to the cartoon in order for kids to be like, I'm excited because I just saw a video game thing happen. You know,
Hmm.
like they
Yeah.
kind of vaguely understood the kids wanted to see video games in cartoons. They just weren't really, they hadn't figured this out. This is the first shot at it. So, and with Frogger, they were like, well, you want to see the frog get run over. So, Frogger, as a reporter for the Swamp Gazette, he frequently gets run over by cars, and then they need to reinflate him back to normal. And it's not nearly as sexy as you would think. Like you'd think
No.
there's so much potential here, but they always inflate him to exactly the right thing, so we don't actually have any, inflation, even though it's really primed for it. And they never stick the nozzle of the pump anywhere where you could be prurient interest.
No. They inflate him through his toe or through like the small of his back.
Yeah, they never put it in an orifice as you would
No.
expect them to, but not even like his mouth or something. But
No.
yeah, it's like I feel like maybe there were some executives who like knew what was going on and were like, no, 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 none of that. We cannot have people rediscovering this on DeviantArt in 30 years.
It's
Um,
really interesting that they thought that the most applicable part of Frogger to kids was the part where you lose. Like, imagine
well,
if they had focused on that for the Super Mario Super Show, and there were like, every episode they had to focus on Mario, going doo 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 and falling off the screen,
I mean, I
and then
guess
they had to like laboriously hoist him back up with like a fly gang.
Yeah, I mean, I guess kids did lose Frogger a lot
Yeah.
because that game cheats. It's not hard to get through the traffic with the cars. That's easy. But then the second part where you have to jump on logs and turtles, like, oh, that's impossible. Like you get up to the little bit, and it's like, oh, if you're not timing it just right, you can get right in there, and the game's still like, nope, you didn't make it. Put in another quarter. Fuck you, Frogger. But Frogger in the one episode we watched, he's like going to like a college because it's like, oh, someone invented some college kid invented, a
He invented
new.
like a skateboard fuel.
That's right, the skateboard fuel. Which
Skateboard fuel. That you mean a foot?
yeah, it was like skateboards, a thing that I did not realize required fuel. Okay. But there's like some like evil like phantom who's stealing it, who wants to prevent them from getting this, from
The
the
Phantom of
world.
the Skateboard.
The Phantom of the Skateboard. So Frogger and his associates, he has a girl frog who hangs out with him. I can't remember her name. It's not Lily. You would think it would be Lily, but it's not. I think it's Fran, actually. Is it Fran?
Fran? What was it? No, Lily was right. Yeah,
Oh, Lily was right. Okay, never mind
I
then.
think it
Um,
wasn't Fran.
okay, and there's a turtle too named Shelly or Shelby, I think.
Yes,
Um, and
a turtle who talks like the guy that we don't really want to mention anymore.
yeah, there were a couple characters I remember who had
Yeah, with the
that
Woody Allen
voice.
voice. That's
Who
weird.
is who was the other one? It was in some other show, but now I've what?
Oh, it wasn't it in Katie Kangaroo? Wasn't it? I think it was the what, a bird or something who hung out with her son.
Oh, it was a squirrel.
A squirrel. That's right. Yeah.
Yes, yes, he had a squirrel that hung out with him who talked like Woody Allen for some reason. So maybe there was just like how cartoon voice, like how every cartoon like now is like, oh, there's like a Peter Lorre character
Yeah. Yeah.
and there's an Arnold Schwarzenegger character. I guess in the early '80s it was like a brief moment where they were like, Woody Allen voice is going to be big, so that's going to be a thing from now on, and it wasn't. I can think of these two cartoons, and for some reason, Tasmania did it, but nowhere else. I can't think of any other Woody Allen characters. Um,
Yeah. who would they be doing impressions of now that's making movies at the moment? I can't even think of anyone who's that distinctive.
Yeah, not really. I mean, I don't know what actors are out right now. I'm sure
Maybe
that
Seth
probably
Rogen.
maybe. I feel like what they would probably just do is like, oh, here's we're gonna do an impression of, I don't know, your favorite TikToker or something. I don't know what the kids are into nowadays. So like, here it's we're doing. Is there anyone who has a distinctive voice in the world right now? You know.
Oh God, I don't know. Uh, Vine Sauce Joel. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? But anyway, so these three intrepid gumshoes, no, they're not gumshoes, sorry. They're not detectives, they are reporters, investigative reporters. They have to
Yeah,
investigate this campus, this guy that's stealing the skateboard
the
formula.
the campus guy or campus phantom. That's
The
it.
campus phantom. Now, who could it be? There is a really mean, grouchy professor who kind of yells at them, so might be that guy. I don't know. What do you think?
You think? I don't know. I mean, he is like the only person of the same height and weight as the Phantom. That and he always appears like minutes after the Phantom disappeared. But I don't know. I don't know if it's the same guy. It doesn't seem like it.
I mean, it's hard to know because the cartoon that we watched, the ending was cut off, so we'll never know who the actual Cantonese Phantom was. I guess I guess we'll just have to. I mean, it's a mystery. Um, but what I found interesting about Frogger is so Frogger and Lily and Shelley are animals, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And all the other characters that we meet in this are just humans, and they
Yeah, it would
all
be. It seems like they should be, solving animal crimes, but
yes. But here's the thing: is I watched a second episode of Frogger in which they
oh,
do solve animal crimes
okay.
because apparently what we've got here is a Wind of the Willows style world
Oh,
where in Wind in the Willows, it's kind of accepted that like on the riverbank, the animals live in little burrows with like doors, and they have like they wear clothes and they do animals. They're like wear rabbits and waistcoats, right?
right.
But we also it's accepted that when Toad goes into the city, there's humans and they just interact with humans as if they can do that. Like and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, this Toad wearing clothes. We're going to put him in jail for stealing a car." This is a normal thing in our world that just animals are, we
Animals have clothes and steal cars.
yeah, and no one thinks this is strange. It's just a thing, right? And in Frogger, this one that we saw where he's fighting the campus phantom, it's all humans. But there's another episode where we actually see that Frogger lives in the swamp. He lives in a tree with a door in it, and all his friends also live in trees with doors in it. And the editor on the Swamp Gazette is this angry like Toad who's all like, "I want pictures of Campus Phantom on my desk," right? And but like someone is stealing stuff from various houses in the swamp. So
Mm-hmm.
Frogger and his buddies like have to catch this thief, and they're all animals. Like there's Shelly the turtle and Lily the frog, but we also have there's like a tough mouse who wears like a sweater and like a flat cap and kind of talks
Ah,
like a Batman goon, and there's a stork who does karate, and I think maybe is supposed to be an Asian stereotype, but like I was not very clear on it because he doesn't really have
really?
any lines. Hmm.
I mean, okay. When did the Karate Kid come out?
80s?
Yeah. Okay. Are we sure it's not like a reference to the crane technique?
Oh, it might be. It might be. That would make some sense. It would be very
Mm-hmm.
in the zeitgeist. Um, but what Frogger does is he also he's investigating this thing and trying to solve who's stealing all the swamp stuff.
Yeah.
And he goes into town to a pawn shop, which is run by a human because it's in town.
Mm-hmm.
And the human is he does that thing that like people do where like he's slightly like surprised to see talking animals, but he adjusts really fast. Like he's
Yeah.
he's like, a talking frog, my word, what can I do for you? And it's like, oh, that he really like took that in stride.
Yeah.
You know,
People are more surprised, not so much that a frog can talk, so much as that a talking frog is here. Ugh.
yes.
Uh, I'm sorry, sir, but I'm afraid I can't let you into the restroom. We have a policy.
Yeah, it's almost like, is it like is this a segregated world? Are the animals like, we don't serve your kind here? Like, what's going on? Are we just is the world of Frogger an apartheid state? What is going on? I don't know. It's not clear, but I was very fascinated because watching Frogger, it really made me reflect on the different styles of furry world that you find in media, right? Because
Right.
there's like the Wind in the Willow style where it's like, okay, the animals and humans coexist, and they both are humans are animals are basically just humans, but they live in like theme housing. Like you live in an animal themed house, like a burrow, but you have like furniture and stuff in it. But otherwise, you're just a human basically. Except I guess you don't need to work. You don't have to have a job. You can just,
You can
live.
just, go out and eat bugs that also live in houses.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Wind and Willows is especially weird because it's also like Toad is like, by the way, I'm also rich and I live in a mansion. And it's like, how did he get rich? Oh, he inherited the money. Okay.
From
Yeah, from his dad apparently, but like that they don't say much more.
from his dad, an industrialist.
Yeah, his dad Andrew Carnegie. Okay,
His
so
dad, who sold the rest of the family for frog legs.
yes. Oh, good, getting kind of dark there. Okay, so that's the Wind in the Willow style furry world. Then you've got and that one's a little. That one is a little strange, but you can kind of parse it. Then there's the Zootopia style furry world, which is just where it's just animals, right?
Yeah,
The
just animals, no humans. To
no
our
humans.
knowledge.
Yeah,
We haven't seen Zootopia 2 yet. There might be humans in that.
that's
for all we
true.
know.
That's true. But we're assuming like it's a furry world. It's only animals. They're basically humans for all intents and purposes. That's the kind of world that, like, Richard Scarry's Busy Town. I guess like the Disney Duckburg would be like that style world.
Yeah, Duckburg is a little different in that it has the kind of human but not human race of dog faces.
Yes.
Because
yes.
some people are actual dogs and some people are just dog-faced humans like Goofy.
Yeah. Oh wait, are there actual humans?
Not really, but often you will see an actual human recreated as a dog face.
Oh, okay.
Much like in the comics at least, Uncle Scrooge was friends with Theodore Roosevelt, and Roosevelt just appeared with a beady black nose like everyone else.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so as far as we know, there don't appear to be actually humans. So that would make Duckburg like a Zootopia style furry world.
Once in a while, you see a human. I remember seeing in the Barks comics. There's one particular one where the guy who gave Carl Barks the idea for the comic is seen kicking the Beagle Boys out of the welfare office.
Oh, okay. So if there are occasional humans, then I would say it's much more. Duckburg is much more of a Duckman style universe. Because
in Duckman, you can have just about anything going on.
Yes, because Duckman has dog faces, but it also has humans and ducks.
Yes.
So
talking stuffed animals,
which I don't know that they've ever said you can't have in Duckburg. So that's its own style. Okay. Then you have like Secret of Nim style universe, which is basically like it's similar to Wind in the Willows, except the animals and the humans don't communicate. Right? The animals are, as far as we know, ordinary animals, but they
want to maintain that illusion.
Yes. Whether or not they actually can speak is it's unclear, because like it's not clear. It's like are they actually wearing clothes, or is that just symbolic of what they of their mind that they can think?
Yes.
I think you actually I think you were the one who actually theorized that a Secret of Nim style universe It's because the animals have not partaken of the uh, tree of knowledge, so they don't realize they're naked.
Yes. Yeah, and it's not that they've never heard of nakedity. They literally don't realize they're not wearing clothes.
Yes. So that's an interesting one because, like, I think like in now very often in these style universes, they if there's an interaction with humans, they will make it so the animal loses their clothes beforehand, so they can
Yeah.
avoid that little complication. That happens in the Secret of Nim. I remember that very distinctly happening once upon a forest. It probably happens a lot in these things. Anyway, these are the different styles of furry universes. I'm sure there's more, but I mean, I can't think of them right now off the top of my head. Those
I
seem
don't
to be the
know.
main three, but
This all seems like grist for your next novel.
well, I got to fill the content hole.
For real.
So maybe I'm gonna write I'm gonna write an academic treatise on the different styles of furry world that they have. Um, all right. But so Frogger,
Yeah.
it's yeah, they tried, I guess.
They tried. Yeah, I mean it really feels like they had this cartoon about frogs ready and just, it was like, oh, we've got Frogger. Okay, let's add a few things to make it closer to the arcade game.
Yes, which they then I guess they did. So Frogger, I guess Frogger is a video game I feel like has had a little more staying power than Kangaroo. I think people still
Yeah,
remember
there
Frogger.
were definitely Frogger sequels into the 2000s.
Yeah. I like then you get in the old days when you had the Frogger video game and the art was like a photorealistic frog wearing like a necktie with a briefcase and a watch, running
Oh
away
yeah,
from a
I know
car.
that one. That's great.
Yeah, that was good. That was probably why people was like, oh, I like this game. I like this business frog. Um, well, so what other cartoons do we have? Or
Uh,
is
we also, well, like I said, Frogger was from last season. This season it has been replaced with Space Ace, which Joyce DeWitt has also heard of. But I
yeah.
never saw Space Ace in any arcade. I saw Dragon's Lair and Dragon's Lair 2 many times. Space Ace, never.
I don't know whether I've seen Space Ace in an arcade. I have definitely seen Dragon's Lair. I remember seeing Space Ace in Babbage's. You could buy it for your home system.
Yeah, I
Um,
remember seeing the first place I heard of Space Ace was when it was being advertised in our Mac Games catalog, and there weren't a lot of Mac games at the time, so
um, yeah. So Space Ace. I guess part of the game is that your guy Space Ace gets zapped by like a ray from
yeah,
Borf,
it's
who
called an
is
Infanto Ray,
yeah.
which makes your square-chinned space superhero in the mold of Flash Gordon makes him young and gawky and really ugly.
Yeah, and so I
To
guess
the
that's
point where he kind of looks like looks like he's supposed to be some sort of unfortunate national stereotype.
oh.
He looks like he's being like, oh no, it's a ray that turns me Armenian.
Oh god. Oh, Don Bluth was like, I'm gonna show those fucking Armenians. They've had it too good for too long. Fuck. He was probably like, fucking Dave Bagnazarian, think you're better than me? I'll show you.
Fucking William Saroyan, time of my life, my ass.
Yeah. Oh. Well,
Fucking
I thought
fucking Governor George Duke Majan.
I guess so. This was like a thing in the video game, I guess, and just like they decided to bring over Frogger getting run over, they brought this thing over into the cartoon series, even though it does not really seem to have any sort of bearing on anything, and it really feels like just yeah, okay, we got to do this thing, Maybe they
I will
thought
say that the character designs are much sharper in this one than the others because, I mean, they came over from Don Bluth. They actually look, on model compared to
yes.
everything else.
Yeah, the animation does look kind of fluid. It looks like they were rotoscoping their walk cycles, maybe, or
Yeah, so, this maybe they had a bigger budget because they only had 2 new shows this year. I don't know.
maybe. I mean, did they actually have Don Bluth involved in this? Is the question.
No, I don't think so.
That feels like kind of like that feels kind of spiteful. To be like, he was like, oh, Don Bluth, you made a video game, huh? Can you animate? Yeah, well, yes, I can. We don't care. Yeah,
It's kind of like how there was a Saturday Morning California Raisins show, but it was in traditional animation rather than clay.
yeah, which is like, yeah, Will Vinton, you don't need to be involved. But the so this yeah this Infanto Ray thing really has nothing to do with anything. It's just a thing that randomly happens to, I guess, very slightly inconvenience the plot, but not really because he just randomly transforms back. So it
Yeah,
again
and
nothing.
most of the time, even if you're younger and weaker, it doesn't change things that much unless he's really that much clumsier as a teenager.
Yeah, I guess it adds this complication that like no one can know that he has this issue, so he has to pretend because there's a girl, like Kimberly, I think her name is.
Yes.
I guess she's like a space princess type, and I'm not sure if they actually are brother and sister or she's just pretending that like he
I
is or
think she's
what.
pretending that when he becomes the kid Dexter, he's her kid brother.
Oh,
As a-
okay.
and their boss is always being like, Dexter, you're such a washout. Thank goodness Space Ace is nothing like you. Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
sir. I sure am nerdy.
Yeah, it's kind of an inverse Captain Marvel situation, you know.
Yeah.
Now, the thing about Space Ace is I don't know. I can't exactly put my finger on it, but it does not feel very sci-fi to me. Like,
Yeah, I know what you mean. There is in fact a floating robot, but he kind of feels more like a magician.
yeah, I think when we talked to him last time, I kind of described him as looking like Phantom Limb from Venture
Yeah, he
Brothers.
does.
Um,
Yeah, he looks like Phantom Limb if you were a Deltarune character.
yes, and he's kind of the he's Borf's sidekick. He's one of those.
Yes.
I think he's one of those like kind of like a long suffering kind of snarky butler sort.
Right, right.
He's very Jeeves to Borf's
Yes.
Wooster. But Space Ace and I guess Borf has some plan where he's gonna like make these really annoying cat people into like cute kittens so that people will want to adopt them and then they'll turn back and cause havoc. I
Yeah.
guess. But mostly what I like about it is the plan relies on his minion Trader Dave.
Trader Dave.
Yes, who
Get it?
yes, I like it because he's going to sell the kittens, right? Trader Trader, but
Right.
but he's Borf's spy, so I thought Borf was calling him Traitor, as in Traitor, like he's a traitor, right?
It's like,
And
it seems like we shouldn't have Trader Dave on the payroll in that event.
yeah. Which I mean, it was especially funny because Space Ace refers to him as Traitor Dave. So I was like, wait a minute, he's a traitor? Why you still got this guy around? What? But then it's like, oh, he's a trader. He trades stuff. Okay. So he basically sells a bunch of people these kittens. They get big and mean. He runs away with their money and says, I think no refunds, which is very amusing. I really do like Trader Dave. He's a
I remember thinking this kind of character is going in Mike's pile of favorites right here.
yeah, I'm a big fan of just like kind of like shifty grifter type characters.
Yes, he has the goblin energy that
Yes.
is your kind of character.
I love any character that's it's like, oh, it's Slick Smitty from the big city come to sell us all cement ponds. I just love that sort of guy. So so yeah, Trader Dave is definitely like a standout for me. Now I can't remember how Space Ace actually saves the day. I don't think it matters that much. He just does
Nah.
it. It's a cartoon. And then I think they shoot him with a ray because it's like, oh, this is the anti-infantilizing ray. But it turns out it only works on these cat monster people.
Yeah.
Because Borf is very specific with his ray guns,
Yeah, Borf also looks like he might be a cruel caricature of a race that I've never seen.
Yeah, he looks oh gosh, there's a
got
little
big rubbery lips and a kind of a clown nose.
He is a shade of blue, makes him look a little gollywoggish, you know.
Yeah. And he has this incredibly trim waist, but a huge double chin.
Yeah, he's also got that thing that Don Bluth loves, which is a tiny cape.
Yeah, loves those little capes. That again, that's another very Captain Marvel thing.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I don't know if he still does, but Captain Marvel or Shazam, used to wear like that half-length cape.
Oh,
I guess
yeah.
as a sort of deference to Superman being the only one who gets a full-length cape.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if that's still a thing, but I do remember that.
Yeah. They say not all heroes wear capes, but actually, surprisingly few do.
Yeah. Well, it gets sucked into jet engines or something, I think is what they said.
No capes.
Yeah. Yeah, so something about this show, I guess maybe because it is kind of a Captain Marvel homage, maybe that's why it feels a little more, not straight sci-fi. It's more of a superhero vibe to it.
Yes.
Like a
I
lot
always
of the
think of what, what Jules Pfeiffer said about Captain Marvel, where he said it was a Disneyland of happy violence.
She's sorry, he's yeah, it also feels like it feels a little more fantasy than sci-fi. Like the aliens don't look like aliens; they look like fantasy monsters to me.
What would make them look like aliens? Do we need more BEMs?
Yeah, I mean, googly eyes would be good. I feel like that's the thing, but you know,
Yeah, the monsters that the long-suffering robot sends at them in the clip, they just look like Battle Cat, but with antlers on their shoulders.
yeah, it's they I don't know. It reminds me of when Hanna-Barbera did Galactic Goof Ups, and they're going to planets and just fighting dragons, and it's like those are but
They're not space dragons.
I mean, I guess they're space dragons. But anyway,
But yeah,
space
I
Ace.
mean, I think that if you want to make good science fiction, just take the tropes of fantasy and swap them out with sci-fi. So you don't fight the big bad wolf, you fight the big laser wolf.
Yeah. I guess space Dragon's Lair, I guess, was the attempt at fantasy. This was a sci-fi one. I don't know that they really. I mean, the Dragon's Lair is pretty good for fantasy. Like it gets the fantasy vibe, I think.
I mean, Dragon's Lair 2 was about time travel, but he spends a lot of it in like Alice in Wonderland.
Oh yeah, I didn't think John Booth just doing whatever the fuck he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Though I think we mentioned that we don't hear a lot about Space Ace, but there is the one time when I remember a Space Ace reference coming up was actually in Samurai Jack, because there is an episode where Samurai Jack has to fight a dragon, and he is told if go down that path, turn left, you'll get to the dragon's lair. And he's like, what happens if I turn right? And they're like, Space Ace. So Space Ace is what replaced Frogger, and I guess that's a glow up. That's a step up.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's an improvement, even if there's a lot to improve about Space Ace itself.
Yeah, un poquito. Okay, so what else have we got? What other cartoons? What other terrible cartoons?
Back to the cartoonist and his love-hate relationship with this reporter. Now he leads her into the recording studio where we actually get to see a bunch of the voice actors. And this is great. We get to see, the man himself, Frank Welker, at work.
Oh, yeah. This is kind of neat. We see Frank Welker. We also see Howie Mandel. And, oh, God, who is... there's a couple other people who actually
Russie
are there,
Taylor.
Too.
And I don't remember the other one's name. She's the voice of Baby Piggy.
Yeah, I don't remember... gosh, I don't remember who that is, but they're all very good at their jobs.
It's Laurie O'Brien, and apparently this was one of 2 things she did as far as animation goes. But
Huh.
other than that, she only does starring roles as a non-camera actress, apparently.
Oh, okay. Huh. Um, well, good for her. So yeah, they're doing. Frank Welker does. He does uh, adult Kermit, but he also does baby Kermit. So
Yes, that's pretty funny. There, he's doing his lines as adult Kermit, and they're like, "Frank, we need you as the baby." Oh, all right, sorry.
it's a subtle difference,
Yeah, he does a pretty good Kermit voice in either direction. And what's funny is that he's telling a funny story, and then we cut to Howie Mandel, and Howie is just listing roles they both did, and they were both Gremlins in Gremlins.
Oh, they were. Oh, wow. Yes.
Yeah, Howie Mandel was the voice of Gizmo, and Frank Welker was Stripe. So
Um, yeah.
I think he was also Mohawk in the second one, but.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. Frank Welker is everything and everything, pretty much.
Yeah.
Um, and I did not realize that Howie Mandel was Baby Gonzo, though. But I guess
it's Rusty Taylor who's Baby Gonzo.
Oh, sorry. Oh, he's an Animal, I think, right?
Yeah, he's Baby Animal, and I think he was also Scooter. Or no, he was Skeeter.
Oh, that is interesting. That is playing against type, because very often you're going to get very often you have women doing the voices of small children, like little boys. You don't often get a dude doing a voice of a little girl.
And apparently he was actually only on the show for seasons 1 and 2, and then in seasons 3 and 8, Frank Welker took over as Skeeter, and Dave Coulier took over as Animal and Bunsen, who were all voices Howie Mandel had done. So I wonder what Howie Mandel was going on to.
Maybe it was the same thing as in the real Ghostbusters, and Dave Galtz just showed up and was like, "That doesn't sound anything like me," and then they were like, "Fire Howie Mandel, bring in Dave Coulier."
Poor Dave Coulier. They keep hiring him just to spite other voice actors.
Yeah, I gotta say, that is probably one of the biggest glow downs is Peter Venkman going from Lorenzo Music to Dave Coulier.
Yeah,
it's it's just weird because all of a sudden it's why is suddenly why does it sound like Peter Venkman just got hit in the head?
Why does he suddenly sound like he's doing a Bill Murray impression when he wasn't before?
Yeah, because Lorenzo Music really captured what the vibe of the Peter Venkman. Even though he might not sound like the guy, it's look, that is what Peter Venkman should sound like. And then Dave Coulier is like, "Oh, it's me, Peter Venkman." Oh. It's like, what is that? I think Laurice LaMarche was apparently trying to do a Harold Ramis impression as Egon.
Yes. Didn't sound like him, but
no,
he made it his own.
Yeah. And I know Arsenio Hall did Winston. I don't know who was doing Ray though. I'm not really sure.
That's Frank Welker again. He was just doing his own normal voice.
Oh, okay. Well,
you notice that he sounds just like Fred from Scooby Doo when he's being Ray.
Oh, that's true. I had not thought about that, but yes, and I think he did Slimer too, because that is a very Frank Welker voice. And I don't know who did. They also when they replaced Lorenzo Music, they also got a worse Janine too.
Yeah, who was the original Janine?
I don't know actually. Let me look it up. Janine, real Ghostbusters. Let's see. Who is the voice of Janine?
That would be Laura Summer, or at least the first one.
Okay, so voiced by. Okay, so looks like Kath Soucie did the.
Kath Soucie, yeah, you probably know her better as Lil from Rugrats.
Also Phil.
Yep, and Phil and Lil, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Apparently she's also Lola Bunny and Fifi LaFume. So she's done a lot of stuff.
Yep.
And let's see. The original Janine, Laura Summer, is let's see.
Looks like her other best known otherwise for being Patamon on Digimon.
Huh. Okay. But she's also been in the Garfield show as.
Oh.
things, people. She was Drusilla, Minerva, and Gloria. I don't know who those characters are, but like, why not? Anyway,
Oh, aren't those John's obnoxious cousins who want to chase, or nieces who want to chase Garfield around?
oh, that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. Anyway, so original Janine is better in my opinion. Um,
Yes.
okay, anyway, but the real Ghostbusters is not part of Saturday Supercade. So
Yeah. We had not reached that golden era of Saturday morning just yet.
yeah, so let's see. We were talking of what were we talking?
Yes. Oh, they were. Well, these four voice actors were recording a segment for Muppet Babies.
Oh yes, and
And we've done an episode of Muppet Babies, so you know how much we love Muppet Babies already.
it was a pretty decent show.
Yes. I mean, even when you make the Muppets animated, it's still, they still retain a lot of their appeal.
Yeah. So it's so we learned this reporter is pretty impressed though, I think, if I remember right.
Yes. And then, so then the cartoonist leads her to where they're slugging out the shots for the Charlie Brown and Snoopy show. Now, if you don't know about slugging, this is something absolutely terrible they used to have to do in animation, and thank God computers replaced it.
So what is
Where they're
slugging?
working out where they work out how many frames each action is going to do. And slug out is like, okay, on frame 13 he starts moving his arm. On frame 19 the ball leaves his hand. On frame 21 his hand is going to be slowing to a stop. It stops completely on 23. And you have to do that for like everything that's moving on the screen, and it's
Yeah, that sounds tiring.
Yes. I think it used to be where they sent the people whose performance they weren't happy with in the animation studio.
Ooh, ooh. Well, yeah. Okay. So we learn a little about animation, so that's cool.
Yes. And okay, and we get to see a little bit of the Charlie Brown and Snoopy show, and this is where things get a little weird because their animosity comes to a head as Joyce DeWitt decides she's had enough and she's going to finish her report, and Ted Knight, as the cartoonist, is like, well, why don't I put you into a cartoon? And he pulls up a giant tube from his Xerox machine and sucks her into it and prints her out on a cell. This is where it starts to really look a lot like Land of the Lost.
Yeah. Well, this is pre Roger Rabbit, so like this is like cutting edge and technology. Not really. They just do the thing where she's I guess like
green screen onto the
yeah.
onto the thing, yeah, and Ted Knight is absolutely delighted to have her. It's like, now I can put you into any cartoon that I want.
Oh no. Yeah, he puts her in a race car.
Yes. This is yet another cartoon based on a video game, but not part of Saturday Supercade. It's Pole Position.
I do remember this game. I played Pole Position a little bit, but
it's a racing game. Yeah, I mean, I was never that interested in racing games. I think the first one I owned was Super Mario Kart.
Yeah. This was Pole Position was a racing game, but it was one you played in the arcade, and you did not have like a motorcycle that you sat on to move, so it was inferior to that game. That was a better game.
Not like Hang On or Stun Runner.
Yeah.
And I loved Stun Runner. That was great.
Yeah, but this was Pole Position. I do remember mostly from hearing it mentioned in the Goonies.
Mm. They mentioned in the Goonies? I haven't seen the Goonies in a long time.
Yeah, like they say there's like they say something like when they find the map in the attic, it's got like a date on it, and they say 1760. What does that mean? And the brother's like, it's your top score in pole position, and it's like that doesn't make any sense. But I guess you wanted to like be like really relevant for the kids, so there you go. But So yeah, so they do a she races around, and also I guess she meets the coyote, the roadrunner kind of runs past her at one point.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's going from background to background. Oh, also, and then she just has to sort of sit down and watch while he shows her a flip book of the Get Along Gang.
Well,
The Get Along Gang.
they sure do get along.
They sure do. I've never really watched the Get Along Gang. I didn't realize it was a show with all children's voices on these animals.
Oh, I did not know that actually.
So they're just like, we want to do Peanuts again, but with furries.
I this whole like thing about having kids do voices, it's just
It doesn't work. I'm sorry.
yeah, nobody likes it. Why do they keep doing it?
I mean, if you have one talented kid, that's great. But if you make the entire cast kids, it just makes it unlistenable. As they carefully pick out their words syllable by syllable.
Yeah. I don't care much for the original Get Along Gang. This is a rare instance for the remake. Actually, not the remake. I think like maybe the original was better because I feel like there was a version that was better animated. Like I think Deke made a
there
version.
Was a second Get Along Gang?
Yeah, I feel like there was a version where like they let me look this up. Get Along Gang reboot. I'm pretty sure 1990s reboot. I think is that. Oh, let's see. Was this actually ever a thing, or is this just a? Oh, never mind. I think yeah, it's computer animated.
Okay.
So they did bring it back. I never watched
an
it.
unfinished version has been posted online. Oh, interesting.
I do like the redesign of the sheep character in the unfinished version. I think I think that's a lot cuter than the original version. But I want to know how they were going to redesign Leland Lizard and Catch 'em Crocodile.
Yeah.
You know, how are they going to redesign those guys?
Yep.
There's like, I feel like there was like a Get Along Gang animated special where they really animated the hell out of that lizard.
Yeah, that was the original pilot from 1984. That was animated by Nelvana, the rock and rule people. So yeah, they animated the hell out of it there. But the actual series, that was by Deke.
That's it. So Nelvana was the good version. Deke was the shitty version. As is always the case, isn't it?
Yep.
Man.
Stands for do it cheap.
Yeah. Fucking Deke. Deke!
Yep.
Anyway. Yeah. So anyway, the Get Along Gang. Did you ever watch this show as a kid?
No, I don't think. I think it was just one of those things where like, hey, I recognize these characters. I want to watch the show and see what it's about. And then I saw like, part of the episode and I was like, oh, okay, never mind.
You're like, that's enough.
Yes. And to continue the little cutesy baby animal theme, we also have the Shirt Tails.
Oh, I remember the Shirt Tails. So this is a bunch of animals who wear shirts and they live in a tree.
Many of them do not actually have tails.
No. Do their shirts change or something?
Yeah, they can like flash different messages on their shirts, like the Yellow Kid.
Yeah. And I remember there's like one's a mole, one's
one's a mole and one's a panda and one is a orangutan, which is an interesting choice.
Yeah, and a tiger.
Okay, here's my story. Okay, you know that I'm smart, right?
Yes.
Okay, glad we're both on the same page there. Anyway, yes, I went. So when I went to when I started first grade, my teacher quickly realized that I was way ahead of the rest of the kids. But they didn't actually have like a gifted and talented program at the school. So they instead arranged for me to spend the first half of every day with the second grade class, where I would be, more challenged, I suppose. Anyway, the first day that I was doing that, I was I was scared shitless, like, oh shit, I'm with these older kids. I gotta be mature. I gotta be all grown up. And then they sent me with a group of kids who were animatedly deciding, which shirt tail they are. And they decided I was Bogey, the orangutan.
Huh. Okay. Um. Interesting. Why did they pick the orangutan for you?
I don't know. I mean, I like orangutans, but I don't think I knew that at the time.
Yeah. Well, yeah. They're fine. I have no problem with orangutans.
Yeah.
It's just well, I guess why not? Well, I don't have any personal short tail stories. I know that they exist.
Yeah. It's yet another creation of those characters from Cleveland, who I think also created the Get Along Gang.
Hmm. Well, at least they're getting work.
Yep, this was a division of American Greetings that created a whole bunch of those '80s properties, and hadn't done anything at all for decades until they came roaring back just recently with the show Boy, Girl, Dog, Cat, Mouse, Cheese.
I've never heard of that one.
Me neither, but it looks like what the show you would make if you were trying to make a satire of those Bean Mouth shows.
Beanmouth?
Shows like what they call Cal Arts style.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. Yes. Huh. Okay. Well, I guess I'm glad that those characters from Cleveland are still
getting work. Yep.
Yeah. Good for them.
Those characters. What a character.
What a bunch of characters. Man.
Then Joyce DeWitt goes on this wild ride across various cells where she ends up in a plane and gets shot down by the World War I flying ace, and then she crashes in Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh yeah, and she meets Venger.
Yes, Peter Cullen again, who says, "There she is, the woman who doesn't like cartoons. She will make a wonderful servant, for she is so weak-willed."
Wow, he really
great.
hates it.
So the Dungeons and Dragons characters come to her rescue, and the 17-year-old boy that she was kind of lusting over earlier is, batting back Avengers attacks, and she's like, "Oh, save me, save me!"
Oh, that's right.
Okay, she didn't laugh like Mickey Mouse in the middle, but
yeah, she was really doing that thing earlier where she was like, he's like, "Oh, he's kind of cute," when she was small, but like it's funny because like she really kept repeating it.
She was super into that guy. I was like, I guess they're trying to sell the adults on these hot young nubile children in Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, it was like, oh, I mean, she's like, all right. I mean, they're as hot as you can get in like limited animation.
Yeah. So then there's a big explosion, and she wakes up on the couch in the lobby with the cartoonist saying, "Hi, are you here to interview me?" It's like, oh wow, it was all a dream, or was it?
Yeah, because he does that thing where he turns to the camera and he's all like, no, because she's like, oh no, she doesn't want to interview him anymore because she's been through the whole thing.
Yeah, it's just like, I didn't need to watch it, Dottie. I lived it.
Yeah. And then, she runs out and she's like, oh, this is fine. And Ted Knight is like, she thinks that she just dreamt it all. But you and I know that was actually all real. It happened. Now, this is reality. Right now, it's going on. This isn't a cartoon. Oh, by the way, we completely forgot that for reasons, Ted Knight has been like convinced that Bugs Bunny is trying to kill him.
And he was right. Bugs Bunny kills him at the end.
Yes. He gets erased. Like a giant pencil comes in and erases him. And of course, then we pull out and Bugs Bunny is at the drawing board and he's all like, ain't I a stinker? You all remember this bit. It's a duck-a-muck, I think, or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Bugs Bunny was just playing the hits. He hadn't done anything new in quite some time.
An interesting thing that my dad tells me is that I don't know if this is true, but it's something my dad is maintained. When he was a kid, they never showed Bugs Bunny cartoons on television.
Huh.
He said that like they would show Daffy Duck, they'd show Porky Pig, they'd show all the other ones, but Bugs Bunny was movie only, movies
Hmm.
only, the only theatrical. And every so often they'd be like, "Okay, kids, we got a real treat for you. We got a Bugs Bunny cartoon."
Hmm.
And they would show this one cartoon which I have never seen. I've never, I don't know what cartoon it is, but I'm mentioning it now. Ethan, maybe you know it. Maybe someone at home knows what cartoon this is.
Okay.
But he says it was Daffy Duck and Porky Pig. They check into a hotel and they don't have any money, so they are trying to sneak out without paying, and they do all this stuff, to get out, and they fail. Eventually, the hotel guy like throws him, locks him in the basement, puts him in chains, as you do, right? And so Porky Pig and Daffy Duck are like, "Oh, we should call Bugs Bunny because he'll know what to do," right? So they call up Bugs Bunny, and Bugs Bunny says, "Oh, you should like do X, Y, Z," and they're like, "Yeah, we tried that." Bugs Bunny's like, "Well, then try this other thing," and they're like, "We tried that too." And Bugs Bunny's like, "Well, try this other thing," and like, "We tried that too." And then the door opens and you see Bugs Bunny also in ball and chain, and he says, "Didn't work for you either, huh?" And the cartoon ends. So Bugs Bunny is in the cartoon for like 2 seconds at the end of it, and um, and I'm very scared. I'm always wondering, like, is this actually a thing? I've never heard this cartoon. I've never heard anyone mention this cartoon. I've never heard anyone mention a time when Bugs Bunny wasn't on TV. And also, the idea that Bugs Bunny actually like kind of like gets caught at the end is very out of character for Bugs Bunny. So I'm always wondering if this actually happened or if my dad is remembering some other thing from his childhood and conflating it with Bugs Bunny. I don't know.
Well, there's definitely a cartoon where Daffy and Porky are trying to escape from a hotel manager, but I can't find the actual name of the cartoon.
Okay. Well, kids at home, if you know what we're talking about.
Oh, I think it's called A Scammy Hotel.
Oh, I guess that's exactly what it is. It says what it is on the thing. Well, let's look up a scammy hotel and see if this is the thing that my dad was talking about. Wow, this is bigger than like than finding out Pryor's place. Let me see. A scammy hotel. This is from, what year is this from actually? This looks like a let's see. This looks like a Fritz Freelong joint.
Yeah, it does.
All right, I'm just going to skip to the end here and see if we've got Bugs Bunny appearing. Let's see. I think it just cut off before the end of the cartoon because like that doesn't make any sense. Let me try this other one. A scammy hotel. Someone describe a scammy hotel. Okay. Do we not have a wiki that?
Actually, I think a scammy hotel may just be the clip that they're showing here.
Oh, okay.
It may in fact, the short may in fact be called "Dime to Retire."
All right, let's try Dime to Retire. Dime to Retire. Okay, so it's not scammy hotel. Okay, Dime to Retire, 1955. Let's see. Daffy owns the hotel in this one, so.
Oh, okay, so maybe not.
Okay. This does not mention Bugs Bunny. Okay. Never.
This is weird. I don't. What I suspect is happening is that your dad saw a version that it had new footage added. Like, you ever see Daffy Duck's Quackbusters?
Yeah. I bet you're right. Like that sounds like the sort of thing they would do when they Quackbusters, or what is the one where they were doing like, where like Bugs gets framed for like bank robbery?
Something like that. Yeah, like I mean, they made like 3 theatrical Bugs Bunny movies that were literally just collections of the cartoons.
Yeah, it's like when they did the Scratchy movie. It's like 20% new footage, Okay, so why were we? So Bugs Bunny attempt. Basically, what we're saying is he kills Ted Knight. Ted Knight is dead now.
Yes. So if you wondered how Ted Knight died, now you know. He was erased by Bugs Bunny.
Yeah. What an erasist. Anyway, so that was I guess that was Saturday morning, not Supercade, but we saw all the
Yeah.
new
Well,
cartoons.
it was actually called Saturdays the Place.
Saturday is indeed the place. It's the place to
Saturday's
be.
the place. Chicago's the day.
Yeah. I love to be at Saturday. I love to be on Saturday. I mean, Saturday was a thing in those days. Nowadays, who cares? All days are the same. Being an adult sucks. Bring back Saturday. Bring back
Really?
good. Bring back good things.
Yeah, if only I could wake up and find a cartoonist next to me and realize that, the entire last 10 years didn't happen.
Yeah, it was like, oh, and then get erased by Bugs Bunny. Um, well,
Well, on the other hand, I could be, waking up and be like, oh, thank goodness none of that happened. Then, I'm like in bed with the cartoonist. He's like, oh, what'd you say, baby?
well, yeah, I wouldn't want to sleep with a cartoonist. That's the worst thing to do. I cannot think of a single cartoonist that I would want to fuck.
I can, but.
Oh, really? Who?
Actually, I shouldn't say her name on air.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, like, is it? Wait, no. Let me think. I'm trying to think of who would be is it the worst cartoonist to fuck? John Kay.
Scott Adams.
Oh my God! Yeah, yeah. I would not
God, I think I would pick John Kay over Scott Adams. Jesus.
Yeah. Oh boy. Boy, I would not want to be Scott Adams' trophy Estonian wife, living in the Squidward head house. Wow. But yeah, they're all. But John Kay is also pretty bad,
Yes.
especially because I don't know. For as bad as Scott Adams is, I don't know that he's a rapist.
No. Yeah. I mean, we can't prove it, but
Yeah, I mean, we'll just have to wait and see about that one.
yeah.
So
With some people, you're just like, I'm gonna reserve judgment. They'll show themselves for who they are someday.
yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I wouldn't be surprised, but anyway. So what do you think? If you watched this Saturday's a Place, would you be tempted to watch Saturday morning cartoons?
Oh, well, I mean, who would watch this that was making up their mind to watch Saturday morning cartoons? It was like, all right, CBS, dazzle me. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if I watched it, I'd be like, yeah, you know what? I think I'd watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I have one thing about kids in the early 80s, we were so into video games that we would watch anything if there was even the vaguest promise of the acknowledgement of video games. That is why everyone went to see The Wizard. We weren't interested in the warmed over Rain Man plot of The Wizard. We wanted to, we actually wanted to see the video game footage.
Yeah. Like, I think, like, oh, yeah, that's true. Like, were they showing in The Wizard, like, new video games, actually? Like,
yeah, the whole point was that they were going to reveal Super Mario Brothers 3 through it.
oh, very impressive.
Yep.
But,
Which was, and Super Mario 3 was as Nintendo Power once said, the hottest thing since bread and water. But,
yeah, I mean, bread and water were pretty big when they came out, when they invented those things, so. Well,
but, of course, I had already been playing it because it was available on the Play Choice 10 at the arcade across from the movie theater where I saw The Wizard. So, but I didn't own it yet.
Well, now you can.
Yep. In fact, you can for a $20 a year subscription to Switch Online. You can have it and some 100 other NES games of varying quality.
Well, you get what you pay for, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I haven't watched. I don't know. Do they still make cartoons about video games now?
Honestly, the line between them is so hopelessly blurred. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they made Cuphead. That was already kind of a cartoon,
true. They made Cuphead. People we know worked on Cuphead.
Yeah. It's actually I've seen some episodes. It's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, it's not as tautly themed as a 30s cartoon as the video game was, but the video game, sometimes the theme kind of interfered with the gameplay.
Yeah. I can't think if there are any other cartoons that are based on video games out right now. I'm sure the kids are into something. Oh, wait, I guess there. I don't know. I don't
There's The
know.
Last of Us, but that's not a cartoon, is it?
Oh, no, it's a movie now, isn't it? Or a
Oh,
TV live action show, I think. I don't know. I don't know what the kids are into these days. It's probably stupid stuff. It's probably bad because they're young. I hate young people.
well, they're never going to stop making Sonic the Hedgehog cartoons, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I don't like these things young people are into because I'm an adult. I like adult things.
Yes.
Love
We have
paying
come to the
taxes.
conclusion that yes, cartoons really are a waste of time and paper.
Should we cut there?
Yes, let's do that.
All right. Do do do.
Doot, doot, doot. Oh.